Hey there. On Scandy Daily today, I'm going to show a new feature that we're working on getting released to the App Store right now. We added a new mesh measurement tool to the edit screen. So after you take a scan, you can quickly take some measurements like surface area or width by height and depth. So I'm going to use the lookout on my iPad Pro. So you notice this screen is large. It's the iPad Pro screen. And I've got my lookout here. And we had someone ask about using this with the iPad, and just want to show that it works. So you can see it's like clipping on. You can't see me. And now you can because the lookout is attached. So um, here we go. I'm going to just scan this big blue trunk, and I'm going to, hello, Charlie. Yes, you're being very helpful. You're being right in the middle of what I need to scan. So I've got this set to 2.5mm resolution. That'll be fine. And I'm not really even trying to do a big complete scan with this. I just wanted to get enough of it so that I could drop it and then measure it. So um, we'll do a little bit more. Let's try this once more. So I don't need a complete scan, but I would like a little bit better scan than that, just because that was a little ugly. Cool. And I got through before Charlie could get into the scan. Boom. So you notice that it's mirrored because the mirror is doing the scanning, so my name's backwards. Manual cleanup is always possible. So boom. Then I'll do an auto clean on top of that. Now that's my trunk. Gonna overwrite the file, pop out and pop back in just to see how it's loading. Okay, so again, this is not square, so I'm going to do the hack to reorient my scan. So this is how I want it. The plane crop is on, but I'm not going to crop anything. I'm just orienting my scan how I want, and then I can save it. And now whenever I load it, it'll use that. So I can do mesh info. Woohoo! So here we go. Width, 0.823 meters. Height, 0.448 meters. And depth, 0.0409 meters. Surface area and volume. Cool. So we just added this. It's a much simpler way to get this data out than having to measure it in AR if you're just looking for the width by height by depth, which a lot of times you are. And so we'll go ahead and do this in AR as well to show. I think the mirror is messing up the rotation. Maybe it's me. It's me. I was holding the iPad sideways. What a dum-dum. Okay. Cool. So the width and height and depth are all going to be a little variant just based on how the bounding box gets calculated. So I dropped this into AR and I got 0.753 meters on that across. And then 0.34 on, I think, what would be the height. And then it's so cool being able to just walk through the object you're measuring. Super nifty. And then 0.486. So it looks like my auto width height measurement, was close, but for some of them, it just depends on how the bounding box is getting oriented. So it's not always going to be perfect, but it was a heck of a lot easier. It's not the line I wanted. It was a heck of a lot easier than doing the manual measurements. If you're just looking for a loose calculation, C to D, cool. So these are my manual measurements, and as is always fun to do, I'm going to throw my handy dandy stainless steel ruler down. So let's see here. On this bad boy, we've got C to D is 0.347 meters, and on my measurement, we've got, that's not where I measured from right there. Yeah, this is the issue whenever we're trying to do the manual measurement comparison, is where am I measuring to and from? So from that edge to just past this divot. And yeah, that's where it is. So because I didn't get a very good scan, I'm not getting a complete accurate measurement across the box. So, it's not that the scan is inaccurate, it's that my scan was not well executed. So it's a poor carpenter that blames his tools, right? But yeah, cool. So this was what I was working on, was just showing you the surface area, width, height, depth thing. And so what I also wanted to show was how useful this could be whenever you're talking about the LiDAR mode. So let's say I'm wanting to do a scan of something, much, much larger, like my dining room, then I could come in here and scan all around the dining room. Hello. And I'm going to get low because I'm actually going to specifically try to do something kind of clever and hacky to get the measurements of this room. I'm not sure it's going to work, but we're about to find out. So what I really want to have happen is to perfectly scan the floor of this room so that I could then crop everything else out, and then I wouldn't have to measure the square footage. Okay, cool. So that looks good. I wasn't trying to scan the table. I was trying to scan the floor. So this looks good. Save my scan. Hop over to here. Okay. This is the mirror. Talk about mirror world. All right, we don't have show touches on. There we go. Now I can annotate. So this is me. This is the edge of the table. This is all in the mirror because, it thinks it doesn't understand that mirrors aren't real. Just like your very cute dog doesn't understand mirrors aren't real. All right, so crop, crop, crop. You all know how this goes. Just cropping what we don't need. All right, and so here's the thing that I'm hoping will be a super clever, like really simple little scan hack, is rather than have to measure all of this stuff with any sort of detail, is if I just come in here and crop everything but the ground. Sweet. All right, and then just do a little auto clean, and then we're gonna save new. And I wanna see what this looks like. Yeah, buddy. Sweet. So I think that's exactly what I was hoping for, is that the surface area and the width and the depth are now telling me the size of this room. So this was just a really easy way to calculate the square footage of this room that I'm looking at. So we'll go ahead and drop this in to AR, and this area over here in the top right corner was where the mirror was. And so, you know, as simply as I can. This is a funny thing that's happening with the LiDAR scans is because they're so big. These dots are tiny. All right, so I want to walk this. That's not where I should have measured from. Oh, well. We're going to walk all the way across the other side of the room and then drop. And then we're going to do the same thing from right here over to here. We're going to make new lines from, what was that? C to D, and then a new line from E to F. And those were 3.46 and 3.74. Oh no! Not mean to do that. 3.46 by 3. So you can see our width and height, our width and depth here are not matching up perfectly with our AR, and I think that has to do with the bounding box of what's being calculated. So, you know, if the thing's not perfectly square, see how it's a little cookie where it's measuring this and that as the depth, so it's not working out perfectly. But, you know, like I said, it's a new feature. We'll work on making it where it does get the actual right bounds with an oriented bounding box, not just how it loads into space. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the Scandy Daily showing the new feature and showing you the measurement tool working on two very different scales. Happy scanning!